Kenora MP Eric Melillo joins us for our Politics 2.0.
It's Friday, and we've got Eric Melillo, the Kenora Member of Parliament, on the line with Zoom from his Kenora headquarters. Welcome back, Eric.
Thanks for having me back. And my Kenora headquarters is just my home office, like everyone else.
It has to sound a little more important than that, but go figure, right?
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
What's the story this week in the House of Commons? A lot going on with the budget and with everything else.
Yeah, quite a bit going on. There's the budget, a number of amendments that have been brought forward, and of course, yesterday, the Prime Minister announcing some flight restrictions from hotspots. But I guess sort of starting at the budget, it seems like it wasn't even this week it was announced. There's been so much, but it's a lot of spending. It's a big budget. I'm still working my way through it, James. But the thing that jumps out at me is $150 billion deficit. This year, we're paying $40 billion on interest payments alone. So that's almost as much as we're spending on healthcare. It's more than the Liberals' child care plan is going to cost. So that's what worries me, is that there's really no plan to get back to balance. And of course, we know that it's going to be future generations that have to pick up that tab.
No one ever thinks of the cost of borrowing, do they?
Well, the Liberals certainly don't seem to. They're spending, I think, quite recklessly right now, and crossing their fingers that interest rates don't go up. But I think, given the situation now, already paying $40 billion in interest, it's there's quite a lot of risks that they're taking on, and this Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has actually now added more debt than all previous Canadian Prime Ministers combined. So if you put that in perspective, it shows that they truly can't manage the public purse.
So is the Conservative government going to support the budget or vote against it?
Well, at this point, I don't believe I can support the budget. We're bringing forward. We did bring forward some amendments that highlighted the need to get back to balance and bring in fiscal responsibility, and the government voted that down. They didn't want any of that. So at this point, I think there's no plan in this budget to, like I mentioned, get back to balance. I don't think to adequately support Northern Ontario and support the businesses that have been struggling and give our economy a pathway to reopening and a pathway to prosperity. So I'm not thrilled with this budget in any way. I don't think it's a great budget. Perhaps it's a great Liberal election platform, but unfortunately, that's not what we were looking for in our budget.
Now, moving things more into Western and Northern Ontario, we're watching COVID numbers slowly ramp up a little bit. There's 11 cases in Northwestern Health Unit this morning, 10 cases in Thunder Bay. Those numbers have been far lower in recent weeks. And I know the provincial government has closed the provincial border because they're very concerned about some of these variants making it into our part of the province from Western Canada. What are you hearing in Kenora?
Yeah, I'm hearing obviously a lot of concern from folks over the variants, and also a lot of frustrations, of course, because we know that we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't need as many restrictions if we had a stronger procurement of vaccines from the federal government, if we had a clearer plan to fight this virus, clear information, mobilization of rapid testing, etc. So it is frustrating that Justin Trudeau has allowed it to get to this point, and that we're still needing the restrictions that are being imposed. So, and it's also why our we've been calling for flights to be banned from some of the hotspot countries like India, Pakistan, Brazil, and I do know that the Prime Minister has taken some action late yesterday to make that happen after the House of Commons unanimously passed a motion to that effect. So I think that's a good step. We need to keep these variants out. We need to beat this virus if we're ever going to have a plan to reopen and get our lives back.
What's interesting is the United States is literally warning people about travel to Canada.
Yeah, that probably says it all right there, right? We're our COVID response is paling in comparison to those of many other countries, United States included. Every American now has access to be eligible for a vaccine, and of course, it's quite a different story up here. So we're going to keep the pressure on. We're going to keep holding the government to account and fighting for a stronger response, because we need the federal government to take the leadership here.
Message for the riding in Kenora.
Message for the riding. I'm happy to be joining virtually the House of Commons next week, so I'm looking forward to taking part in those proceedings, raising questions of concern that I've been hearing from folks across the region, and fighting for a plan back to some semblance of normalcy.
Eric, thanks for taking the time, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Thanks, James. I appreciate it.
Take care. Excellent.
To keep up to date, you have to subscribe. You have to hit that like button and hit the notification to stay in touch.